All right, it is read aloud time. I'm just going to put in a plug for my unlimited boys. Oh no, my warlords, my reading warlords to remember to read Elray Jakes today to page 40. No, 10. Sorry. To page 10. Okay. And I will meet with you guys at 2:30. In the meantime, we have The Total Eclipse of Nestor Lopez, chapter 7. And remember, we were left kind of on a cliffhanger with that knife in the woods. Remember that? So that was kind of scary. No, her, don't let the witch get me, said the little coyote as he's carrying the coyote home. So chapter 7 starts a little bit differently. Oh, you guys can't see, but it starts with him writing a letter to his dad. So it's actually written like a letter. And it says, "Hey, Dad, I was afraid that Abuela lived in the most boring town on the planet. But I was wrong. The woods are a minefield of hunting traps. There's a kid at school who likes to poke his long, unclipped nails into my chest. Ooh, has anybody ever poked you in the chest before? Yeek. And I have a coyote sleeping under my bed who swears he was attacked by a witch. Oh, and did I mention I saw Abuela stomp off into the woods carrying a knife? Do you think he really sent that letter to his dad? From what you know about him, you think he sent that letter to his dad? What do you guys think? I don't see anything in chat.
Probably.
You think he did? Remember how he said he tries not to worry his dad, that he and his mom don't tell his dad when things are going badly because they don't want him to worry. So as far as his dad knows, everything's great. He never tells his dad his problems because his dad is like dealing with so many serious things.
Yeah.
I scratched through everything I've written and turned to a clean page in my sketchbook. Always be positive, always be happy. Hi, Dad. So here's his real. Here is his real. Who is that who just came in? It said Laws entered the waiting room. Who's named Laws? Is that Brianna? Brianna, that's you, isn't it? Why did you name yourself me? Rename yourself, please. Okay, so here's the real letter he wrote his dad. Hi, Dad. So Abuela's town isn't that bad. There are some pretty cool animals here. You can even see them up close. I joined the trivia club. I know. Can you believe I actually joined something? You'd be proud. I've got 2 friends in the club, Talib and Maria Carmen. By the way, the answer to your question about what type of sheep in Afghanistan is named after a famous explorer. It's the Marco Polo sheep. Now here's one for you. And this time, my 2 new people in class, Hunter and Javen, we sometimes do little challenges in class, and then we get a virtual reward. And I have a whole list of rewards. So for a virtual reward, if you solve this one, guys, you have to send me an email with the answer. Here's the question he has for his dad. This animal is known for howling at the moon to communicate and even been known to adapt its habitat to cities. Think hard. Hope you're doing okay. Love you. Stay safe, Nestor. That's pretty easy.
I know it.
I close my sketchbook, but you have to send me an email. Planning to mail Dad's letter when I get home after school. I take my fork and poke at the gray glob on my red plastic tray. Miss Humala clears her throat and raises an eyebrow. That doesn't look too appetizing, does it? I pause, my fork hovering over the cafeteria tuna surprise, which I've learned is the same at every school. The surprise is, it's not tuna. I've sat through several days of science class with Miss Humala barking orders and glaring death rays into students' skulls. Maria Carmen and Talib said she was nice at the first few weeks of school, always stashing bags of peppermints in her desk to toss to students when they answered correctly. But about 3 weeks ago, the stress of attempting to teach science to incompetent 12-year-olds must have gotten to her. Have you ever had a teacher turn super mean mid-year? I'm thinking of becoming mean tomorrow. Maybe.
Please don't.
Contemplating. All right. Here we go.
Please don't.
When I arrived in her classroom for trivia club practice, Miss Humala was sitting at her desk, a stack of papers in front of her. She hovered a red pen over one paper, a look of malicious glee in her eyes. not sure there's anything more awkward than sitting in a teacher's classroom by yourself. Maybe coming to school naked. That's a close second. So he's all alone with the teacher. So how are you liking your new school, Nestor? That's the way the teacher talks, because all teachers are weird, right? Please, no small talk. I want to say, just let me sit here not eating my tuna surprise. She doesn't need to bother getting to know me. I'll be gone in a few months anyway. I stick my fork in the inedible mass on my tray. It's fine, I mumble. Miss Humala looks at me with her large brown eyes. She spins a red pen between her fingers. You know, I'm kind of a new kid here myself. This is only my second year in New Haven. I nod. I'm used to teachers trying to connect, but I've never had a teacher who really got what it was like to move so much. So at least she's trying. Why'd you move to New Haven? I ask her. I think I needed a fresh start. She bites her lip and sets down her red pen. Sometimes you just have to get away from things. A thud at the door keeps me from asking Miss Humala what she was running from. Maria Carmen drags Talib by the arm into the classroom and deposits him into the seat next to me. She takes the seat on my other side and flips her braids over her shoulder. Miss Humala looks at us and claps twice. She's a big clapper. She grabs a stack of cards from a drawer in her desk. Let's begin, shall we? We've got a lot of practice ahead of us if we're going to make it to finals. Evidently, she's adopted a British accent. I'm optimistic about you bunch. When are the finals? Talib asks. End of May, Maria Carmen responds. I pull my sketchbook out of my backpack and flip to my Days in New Haven page. I wonder if I'll be able to make marks all the way through to May. That's 7 months away. I look at Talib and Maria Carmen. Maria Carmen twirls a braid around her finger as Talib stretches his t-shirt and then stretches his t-shirt over his belly. I've made some interesting friends here. Evidently, Talib has a belly. I shove my hands into my pockets and lower my head. I should have known better than to make friends so quickly. If moving to so many schools has taught me anything, it's that the fewer people you bring close, the fewer you have to awkwardly hug and say goodbye to, and the fewer who promise to write and then never do. When I was in second grade, I was friends with Stephen Linner. We made up a secret code that we used to write notes to each other. Then Dad announced we're moving to Fort Lewis, and Stephen and I promised we'd keep writing to each other in our secret code. I went to the mailbox every day once we were in Washington, but no letter ever came. Eventually, I stopped trying to write to him. Oh, that's sad. Poor guy. Watching Maria Carmen and Talib, I wonder if we'll make those same false promises in a few months when I leave. Miss Humala stands in front of her desk and holds out the first card. This animal is a type of worm that drinks 3 to 4 times its body weight in blood. She clicks her large front teeth expectantly. Does anybody know what kind of worm drinks blood? Often lives in the water.
Oh, I know it.
What is it, Hunter?
Isn't it a bloodworm?
It's, well, another name for it is a leech.
Isn't it a leech?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Leech. Yeah, good. Okay, a leech. Correct, she cries, stomping her foot on the floor. Talib looks at me and grins. This is better than being pudding targets in the cafeteria, right? I guess. I don't think she would have taken no for an answer. I point to Maria Carmen. As if she heard me, she passes Talib and I each a stack of index cards and a bell. These are your study cards. You should staple them together by animal genus and ring your bell when you know the answer. See if you can beat me, she says, winking. While Miss Humala continues quizzing us, Talib and I sort our cards into groups of closely related animals. I learned that this is the second year New Haven Middle School has had a trivia club, that Miss Humala started it when she was a new teacher last year. It was mostly 8th graders who traded in school suspension for involvement in a club, and they answered only 2 questions right in their first competition. The club disbanded before the end of the school year. When 2 of the members duct taped bottle rockets to their opponents' chairs and superglued the moderator's hand to his microphone. Oh, these kids. These are not good kids, man. This bird can sleep while it flies, Miss Humala said, stretching her long neck and tapping the quiz card on her desk. Does anybody know what bird that is? This is a bird that when it leaves land, it does not ever come back to land until it wants to lay an egg. Otherwise, it lives its whole life in the ocean. Anybody know what it is? Really big bird.
A bird?
You can see it in Hawaii. It has a really large wingspan, but it spends its whole life flying out in the ocean.
Huh.
Eats fish. You can send me the answer to that one if you can figure it out. I'd love to say I know this answer because I read it in a book, but you tend to remember when a bird flies over your head and you hear it snoring. Oh, he's going to say the answer right now. Go ahead, Vivi, say it if you know it.
Albatross.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, I owe you a virtual prize. I ring the bell on my desk. Albatross. We'd been stationed at Fort Lewis in Washington 2 months before my mom and I visited the coast. While we were there, I saw a white bird with enormous wings soaring above me, snoring and muttering to herself, "Just 5 more minutes, Mom." Miss Humala continues with her cards, and Maria Carmen beats me to a correct answer 3 times. I need to step up my game. Talib leans toward me and whispers, "How's the coyote? Your abuela excited about the new family pet?" I wait to answer him until Maria Carmen shouts out another correct answer. I wrapped his leg. He's sleeping under my bed right now. Talib shakes his head. If your abuela finds it, you might be coming home to coyote stew for dinner. Miss Humala clears her throat, and Talib and I straighten up. She pulls another card from the stack on her desk. Her eyebrows rise as a smile creeps across her lips. This mammal is known as a scaly anteater and is covered in hard plate-like scale. So who knows of a mammal covered in scales?
Armadillo.
Yeah, good answer. Good job. I close my eyes, searching my brain for the right answer. Oh no, it's not quite an armadillo. Maria Carmen rings the bell at her desk. Armadillo. Talib lets out a laugh and slams his hand down on the bell on his desk. Nope, it's a pangolin. Have you ever heard of a pangolin? It's very much like an armadillo. It lives in
Yeah,
the
I've heard of it.
southeast. The reason it's really well known is because in China, they have a lot of foods, weird things in China. I shouldn't say weird, different things that they believe give them like powers. And a pangolin is one of these things that they believe gives them power, but they believe they have to kill it and grind it into a powder. And so Chinese markets are really responsible for a lot of the wildlife poaching in the world. And it's a terrible thing. So these little pangolins are worth so much money, ground up dead, that they're killing all of them in the wild. Excellent. Miss Humala claps her white blonde curly hair bouncing up and down. You all really have a knack for this. Each year, the Regional Quiz Bowl picks a focus category for 6th graders. This year, it's zoology. I feel good about my chances, but don't bother to suggest I might have an unfair advantage. Miss Humala clears her throat and continues. This nocturnal, what does nocturnal mean?
Lives at night.
Yeah, it's like awake at night.
Awake at night, sleeping
yeah.
at day, like an owl.
Yeah, This nocturnal African animal eats ants and termites and is best known for being at the start of the dictionary. What is it?
Wait, say it again.
Go ahead and say it.
No, say it again.
African animal eats ants and termites is best known for being at the very start of the dictionary because its name starts with 2 A's. Anybody know? Before Maria Carmen, Talib, or I can answer, the door to Miss Humala's classroom bangs open. Brandon barges in and slumps down in a seat at the back of the classroom. He's wearing an oversized fatigue green jacket with patches from the Army, Air Force, and Marine Corps crudely sewn all over it. Uh-oh. Miss Humala purses her lips. You're late, Brandon. Practice starts promptly at the beginning of lunch. Brandon, oh no, you guys, Brandon's in the trivia club, of course. Brandon rolls his eyes and mumbles, whatever, under his breath. He shoves his hand into his pocket, but not before I notice a white bandage wrapped around his index finger. And remember what happened to his index finger? The coyote bit it. I'm going to buy that coyote some treats. I tap Maria Carmen on the shoulder. Are you kidding me? I whisper. You recruited him too? Maria Carmen shakes her head. No way. It was Miss Humala. She's making him do it to help his grade. Fantastic. I look back at Brandon. He's wearing hunting camo pants and twirling a rabbit's foot keychain between his fingers. Shot it myself, he sneers at me. I roll my eyes. Miss Humala selects another card and holds it up in front of her nose. This primate, anybody know what a primate is? Primates are animals that have, oh, go ahead, Vivi.
I know that we're all primates, to say
You
the
know-
least.
Yeah, what kind of animals are primates?
Monkeys.
Yeah,
Uh,
so anything with opposable thumbs, we're primates. So if you can oppose and grip something like this with a thumb, then you're a primate. This primate barks and screams when angry and will even throw its own. A knock on the door interrupts her question. Leander, our math teacher, motions Miss Humala over. While they talk, Brandon flicks a wadded up piece of paper at Caleb. Look at me, he says, a regular Carlos Hancock. I throw up my hands. Brandon really doesn't know military trivia. Carlos Hancock was a Marine Corps sniper from the Vietnam War. Before Dad's first deployment, I told him I was worried about him being safe. He ruffled my hair and said, "Don't worry, buddy. I got a bunch of Carlos Halfcocks watching over me." You've got to be kidding me, I say, glaring at Brandon. It's Carlos Halfcock. Don't you know anything? Brandon's mouth drops open. He narrows his eyes at me. What are you, some kind of military genius? His dad's in the army, Caleb says before I can respond. He's in Afghanistan. Brandon's top lip curls into a sneer. You better hope he doesn't get blown up over there. What a mean thing to say, huh? A rock drops in my gut and my cheeks burn. I clench my fists and push up from my chair. But before I can get to Brandon, Maria Carmen jumps up. Here are your study cards, she exclaims, her voice quivering with nerves. I take a breath. I sit back down. She hands Brandon a stack of index cards. He shoves them into the pocket of his pants. Maria Carmen puts her hands on my shoulder and gives me a sympathetic smile as she sits back down. My fingernails are still digging into my palms, and I can't slow my breathing. Miss Humala comes back to her post at the front of the classroom. I don't hear the rest of practice. My ears are still burning with anger. When lunch is over, we stay in Miss Humala's room for science class. Maria Carmen keeps her head lowered. I can't look at Brandon without clenching my fists. When class is finally done, Brandon slumps out of the classroom ahead of us. Caleb, Maria Carmen, and I head down the hall to our next class, and I put my hand on Maria Carmen's arm. Thanks, I tell her. I was about to punch Brandon's nose into the back of his skull. Maria Carmen shrugs. He shouldn't have said what he did. It isn't right. Tears well in her eyes, and her bottom lip quivers. She rushes away from us down the hall, a blur of swinging black braids. Did I say something wrong? I asked Caleb. He looks at me and shakes his head. It wasn't you. Her brother was killed in Iraq 2 years ago. So she also had a brother in the military. Very scary to have family in the military, huh? My nephew just came back from Iraq. It was a little scary. We were glad to see him home safe. Okay, friends, we are to chapter 8. And not too much happened in that chapter. We just sort of developed the characters some more, got to know the characters better and their backstories and how they interact, which we always pay attention to when we're reading, right? The way characters interact with each other tells us a lot. I will see you guys again at 2:00 for our microbits.
Yeah, I made a badge.
Nice. You can show it to us at 2:00, my friend. If anybody has questions, you can stay on with me now or doesn't know what to work on. But you can go look at the calendar and see what to work on. And you can also read for your book club. All of my Untitled guys, make sure you've read your El Rey Jakes. I mean, not Untitled, sorry. My Warlords.
Like what? We're not
Miss
reading
Laws, I can't make it to the 2 meeting.
Why?
I have a dental appointment.
Okay, good luck with that. Have you done your reading?
Yes.
Okay. Good luck at the dentist. Are you just getting your teeth cleaned?
Yeah.
You'll have to smile for us later.
Smile.
How come your brother's not in his class right now, or is he in his class?
He's over there. You see the laptop.
He's just rolling around during class.
Yeah.
Amadi, I feel like you put me in a tube. All right, guys. See you at 2:00. Bye-bye. Oh, Bree,
Bye-bye.
you changed from being Ms. Laws to being yourself.
That was weird.
Any questions? If you have questions, you can ask them. Otherwise, time to go. Go work on.
Okay, have fun teaching the class.
Are you not going to come at 2:00?
No, the class in your background.
Oh, this class. Well, they're not listening to me, are they? Look, they're all asleep. Jeez, look at them. Lame.
Bye.
Maybe this is our guy, Nestor. And where's Talib? He's over here asleep. And there's Maria, whatever her name is. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Any questions? No. Bye. Bye, Amadi. Bye, Christian. Bye, Bree.